Before buying a house, Singaporeans and PR have a big decision to make. Do you want to use CPF or cash? This question is important because buying a home will probably be one of the biggest purchases you'll make in your life, so choosing the best mode of payment is important as it can affect your personal cash flow significantly. Let's first discuss what's the benefit of using CPF. Number one is maximizing the use of CPF. Sure, we all know that our CPF is divided into different accounts and you can't just grab the money whenever you want. But the ordinary account is slightly different. It's meant to help you with things like buying a home, insurance, investment, and even education. So it is tempting to just use your OA for your house payment, right? After all, the money is already there and a chunk of your salary goes into it automatically. It can feel less painful than pulling cash straight out of your pocket. But here's the thing to consider. Using your OA for housing purchase means that money isn't growing in your CPF account and earning interest anymore. Plus, you can't touch it for other things you might need down the line. So, while it's convenient, it's important to think about the long-term impact on your retirement savings. This might be the only way to access your CPF before the age of 55, but is it the wisest choice? Number two is have more cash for expenses. Using CPF for your house purchase can be a double win. First, you free up cash you would have used otherwise. Remember, 20% of your salary goes into CPF every month. So, financing your house purchase with CPF means that 20% is available for other things. Think about it. That's a whole chunk of money you can use to pay for other things, including even saving more for your retirement or just breathe a little easier with everyday expenses. Now, let's say you decide to go all cash and keep your CPF untouched. Here's the flip side. You'll likely be using around 20 to 30% of your salary just on your home loan, depending on your loan amount. Add that to the 20% going into CPF every month. That leaves you with only about 50 to 60% of your salary left for everything else. Talking about pressure, right? Another thing to consider is floating interest rates with bank loans. These can change depending on the market, which means your monthly repayments could jump unexpectedly. Imagine a month when your finances are already tight and suddenly your home loan payment goes up. That could leave you scrambling to cover other expenses. The third one is can use cash for investment. Having additional liquid cash also means that you can invest in a greater variety of investment vehicles. While you can also use your CPF to invest through the CPF investment scheme, the investment options are more limited. With cash, you have access to a wider range of investment and stocks that can potentially give you higher returns. Next, let's discuss the benefits of using cash. The first one is letting CPF continue to grow. Okay, here's the reality. Using all of your CPF for house purchase feels good now, but it could bite you later in your old age. Remember, at the age of 55, the money in your OA gets transferred to your retirement account. That's the account that helps you to live comfortably even after you have stopped working. So, by using all of your OA, you're essentially taking money away from your future self. Sure, you'll pay back the CPF you use for your home with interest when you eventually sell it, but here's the thing that you miss out on, the magic of compounding interest. Think of it like earning interest on your interest. The longer your money sits in your OA, the more it grows thanks to this magic. Plus, the first 20,000 in your OA gets a special bonus, which is an extra 1% interest on top of the normal rate. That means your money grows even faster. With CPF, you're basically getting guaranteed interest, which is pretty sweet considering how unpredictable things can be with regular investments. So, CPF is like a safe and a secure way to save for retirement backed by the government. Number two is no need to pay CPF accrued interest. Alright, so you eventually sell your house and it's time to celebrate, right? But wait a minute. There's a catch when you use CPF for the down payment or for the house purchase itself. You have to pay back all the CPF money you use. On top of that, you'll also need to pay for the CPF interest. This is basically the money your CPF savings would have earned if you hadn't used it for your house. Here's the worry. All this payback could lead to a negative cash sale. That means after you settle everything, you might not have any cash left over from the sale. This could happen if you sell your house for a lower price than expected. The profit that you make might not be enough to cover the interest and the remaining loan amount. Now, using cash for the house purchase avoids this risk of a negative cash sale and you don't have to worry about paying back the CPF with interest. The third one is reserve CPF as your emergency funds. Having a good chunk of cash in your CPF account can be helpful one day. For example, if you unexpectedly lose your job or face a major medical bill. If you don't have enough cash to pay for your mortgage loan, then you can activate your CPF OA. So in a way, it's like your emergency fund, although the rule to use it is very strict. Think of it as a safety net that catches you if life throws you a curveball. So, should you use CPF or cash? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It all depends on your individual circumstances and priorities. Here are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. Number 1. How important is a comfortable retirement to me? If you prioritize a worry-free golden age, using less CPF might be wise. Second question. Do I have a good buffer of emergency savings? If you are living paycheck to paycheck, then you might as well just use your CPF lah. However, if you are living comfortably and have a lot of unused liquid assets, then you might as well use that cash to pay for your house. And then the third question is, what are my future investment plans? If you are planning to invest your cash for potentially higher returns, then using CPF could free up those funds. The fourth question is, how comfortable am I with a higher monthly mortgage payment? Be realistic about your budget and how much you can afford to pay each month. One alternative that you can consider is to do partial repayment to your housing loan as and when you have extra cash. For example, if you just got your annual bonus, if you are taking a HDB loan, they have a guide on how to do partial capital repayment. As you can see here, they have a rule on how soon you can propose a date for the repayment and also the minimum amount for your payment. If you are taking a mortgage loan from a bank, you have to check with your bank first. Usually, it depends on the contract you sign up front. If you are still in a locked-in period, then typically you won't be able to do partial repayment during the lock-in period. But even if you are not locked in, usually the bank only allows you to do partial repayment on certain dates, such as when the interest rate period is being recalculated, and you can get a penalty if you pay outside those specific dates. So, the best is to check with your bank. The benefit of doing partial repayment for your house loan is like chipping away at that mountain of debt. By paying a lump sum towards your loan, you reduce the outstanding amount. This translates into two things. First, you save on interest payments, which is the less money you owe, the less interest you will pay. And second of all, your monthly installments might decrease, which means freeing up some cash for other things. Sounds good, right? But whatever you choose, remember, the goal is to buy your dream home without turning it into a financial nightmare. With careful planning and the right strategy, you can turn that key and step into your new home with a smile. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!